I'm not going to sugarcoat bullshit. I'm going to talk like a little savage. When I made $1, I invested 50 cents. When I made $5, I invested 3. What most people don't understand is that it takes you nothing to open a business. You got to be a lunatic to be like, yeah, it's crazy. I'm going to do it. That's kind of like impossible. Every C student I know is rich. Every A or B student works for the C student. Owning a business is risky. You can make a lot of money or you can lose a lot of money. But if you're willing to make a lot, you have to be willing to lose a lot. It's very easy to make 200 grand a year and collect a check every Friday. But then you can't compare yourself to your boss who's making $50 million a year, because he doesn't have any guarantee that on Friday he's going to have enough money to pay his entire staff. So with risk comes reward. So when you take money away, why is LeBron better than these other guys? He loves the game more.
So that's why you get up in the morning. You love the game.
Simple as that. So it's not about the money. To many people, when they got to the NBA, it was only for money. Once they hit the $100 million contract, they're like, God, I hate this shit. I got to dribble the ball. This is getting boring. I'd rather be at the hotel right now. I want to be in my mansion in California because I'm rich. So you can't just not do NBA now, because that's what pays for your lifestyle. And those are the players you see in the bench.
What do you think are the most important habits to become successful?
Discipline. It's the only one. Discipline. Don't get complicated. I can give you 100 of them. I'm gonna confuse you. Discipline.
How do you become disciplined?
Show up when you don't want to. Your brain is the general. Your body is a soldier. Your body doesn't want to do it. Who the hell's the soldier? I'm the general.
Robert, thank you very much for being on the show. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me.
So a couple of months ago, I was reading a book, and it's called Think Big.
Yes.
And in order to accomplish what you have been able to accomplish so far, I'm pretty sure there's some level of thinking big that has to be involved in that. Of course, coupled with the right amount of action, with the right time horizon too. And this book, there's this really small paragraph that I want to share with you, and I want to hear what you think.
Okay.
Realize that big thinking sometimes means big setbacks. In life, there is no success without hardship. Everyone suffers setbacks. It is part of life. If you think big, you will encounter big setbacks from time to time. What really matters is how you respond to them.
I mean, they said it all. I think big, it's relative. Because what might be big for me might not be big for somebody else. And what might be big for you might not be big for me. So I think if we start breaking down what that says, that for everyone's different. Because what is big? What is think big? I think big is think outside the box. But what is your box? That's why you have billionaires, then you have millionaires, and you have hundredaires, and you have nonaires, right? Because what is think big? Is think big about money? Is think big about family? Is think big about spirit? Is think big about friendship? Because most people assume that think big, he's relating to money, right? But we've realized that people have a lot of money, but they lack other things. So maybe they think big about finances, but they don't think big about everything else. Or maybe the person that is writing that is talking about health. I don't know. But it's absolutely correct that you always have to think big in any field or any thought if you're trying to do something different, right? And by different, it depends. It can be really different, like Elon Musk different, really different, like the Pope different, or different than your mom, or different than your dad, or different than your past boss. But maybe your past boss was a manager at McDonald's. And you think big is, I want to be the GM of McDonald's. That's big.
How do you think your box has changed over the years? When you first started your firm, did you even imagine you were going to be able to accomplish what you've accomplished?
Yeah,
so
I never had a box. I still don't have a box because it doesn't fit. Like nothing I think about fits in a box. So there goes you. There you can analyze my I would say delusion, right? Because you can't be mentally sane, right, to think that big. Because if you really analyze, when you have big thoughts, if you really break it down, some of them are like crazy. You're like, that's crazy, right? So if you are smart enough to see that what you thought big is crazy, then you must be crazy. Because if you're not crazy, your reaction is like, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, of course it's crazy. But you gotta be a lunatic to be like, yeah, that's crazy. I'm gonna do it. That's kind of like impossible. That's fun. Let's do it.
Have you always been like that?
Yeah. Yeah, I've always been like that. And I think the reason why I've always been like that is because I had nothing to lose. So, like, if I got nothing to lose, let's just, like, go for the home run.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, I come from nothing. I come from no money. I come from, like, no financial status. I come from no, like, my family didn't, like, go to school. Like, there's nothing written about anybody in my family. There's no accomplishments. There's nothing. It's just comes from nothing. Like Jesus Christ, right? Like, just, I appeared. So, and I mean that in a great way. Like, I had nothing to lose. I had nothing to live up to. In a good way. It's not like I was homeless, but just by going to high school, I had just, like, accomplished something bigger than my whole family had done. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm in 9th grade. I beat all you guys. So it wasn't a competition. It was just like, okay, let's see how far you can go. Like, we're not really, like, competing here. Like, you're in high school. You know, like, you already beat us.
So your parents in Cuba, they weren't able to finish high school?
I'm sure they did. But, I mean, I think high school in Cuba is a little different. Like, the schools there are like, they call college high school and high school is middle school. I don't even know they went to middle school. I don't know. But it was never talked about, right? It was never like, there's families that they take pride in their educational level.
Yeah.
So then you as kids, you have, like, that pressure of, my father is a doctor from. So I was like, okay, you have something to lose. Like, you have to live up to your dad's standard. My family was never like, hey, Rob, you need to, it's like, just be you, man. Like, we want you to be better than us, but there's really nothing to beat either. You know, like, we're good people, we're hard workers. Just go to school and study.
So when do you think becoming successful was even a thought?
If you have the positive mental state that you will improve everything you do, and you will get to where you have to get at the right time, and you get to enjoy every stage that you're in. It doesn't matter if I was cleaning plates. I was very successful when I was cleaning plates because I was the best plate cleaner you've ever met. So if you ask me, I'll be like, I'm the MVP of cleaning plates. I've hit the pinnacle of my life at 18 cleaning plates. I'm extremely successful. You won't find a plate cleaner that's better than me. That's success. Most people don't see it like that. Most people see it as, oh, I'm struggling right now. I'm working at this restaurant cleaning plates. That's a mental state. You're a failure, not because of where you are, but because where your brain's at. Mm-hmm. So it's very easy to say I'm successful because you have money. But if you didn't think you were successful when you were cleaning plates, you probably have money and you're still struggling with some sort of insecurities because you're trying to be successful. Mm-hmm. At what? Like, what are you trying to be good at? Making money is not a career. Making money is not something that you can, like, hang your hat on. It's nothing. It's just making money is as good as cooking. Like, you're cooking to eat, to survive.
Of course. Unless
you're a chef. But you don't say, hey, today was a bad day because I only ate. What do you mean? Like, you ate. That's good. You're successful. You got it done. So people have this idea that success is money. I think money is an easy way to measure success because you can see it stack up, right? Like, you can see it. Like, if you have money, you see it. And if you don't have money, you don't see it. So if you see it, you must have it. And you're good at something, you're successful. So usually people equate success to things. I have a lot of something, I'm successful. I have a lot of debt. Are you successful? Well, you're successful at accumulating debt. Be happy about it. Like, you managed to get a lot of debt. Just flip that to a positive and get rid of it. True. But it's all like a state of mind, seriously. You're never going to make it anywhere in life if you don't have that, like, happy, like, state of mind. Like, hey, I'm the best. I'm successful. Mm-hmm. At what? Whatever you ask me. But it comes from early on. You can't just flip that on and make money and be like, okay, mental set is I'm successful. No, like, yeah, you have money, but you might not be successful. And this guy might be broke and he might be successful. Does it make sense? I think it's very like,
sense. It makes sense.
you're like, oh, you're full of shit. I'm like, no, I mean it. Like,
It makes sense.
It's a state of mind.
Yeah, but a couple of minutes before we started the podcast, we were having a conversation, and you mentioned that you're already at like 50 employees. When you first started your firm, do you remember any times where maybe you were going through some difficult times in your business and maybe no one knows about it?
No, because if there was difficult times, I saw them as opportunities. I never stored anything in my head as a negative.
Okay.
So if we have a really bad interview today, and you ask me 20 years from now how was it, I'm like, it was great. Because I'm going to look at the best of this.
Yeah.
Even if it was only 5 seconds of like good interaction, that's the only thing I took. Everything else is just recycle bin. It's washed off. It's not in my brain. So I don't think I ever had a bad times. Why would I have a bad time? I own a law firm. I went to law school. I graduated. I passed a test that I thought it was going to be impossible. Now I own a law firm. What is your negative to that?
So you view difficult moments more as a learning experience.
What are difficult moments? But learning experiences. You pay to go to school to be taught things that you're never going to have to do. How much can you learn from success if you've never seen failure? I'll hire somebody who's messed up 1,000,000 times versus someone who's never messed up.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you to mess up on my dollar. Like, if you messed up, you already have that experience of messing up. You saw what you did there? Don't do it again. What's the price to that? But what's the price for someone who's never made a mistake? And now I'm like, man, she might make the mistake on my clock because she's perfect and she doesn't know what not being perfect is.
Yeah.
So I like mistakes. I like problems. I like chaotic situations. I like when things don't go my way. Because if things went your way, what are you really controlling? Like everything's going your way. Like, what are you learning from that? Nothing. Because you don't even know why it's going your way. And then you start to believe that it's going your way because you're talented. Oh, everything's perfect. I'm so good. No, dude, it's perfect because the problem hasn't come yet. Now, when the problem comes, that's when you're like, okay, need to figure this one out. Shit, damn, I overcame this one. I can do this again. Another problem comes, I overcame this one. So then you start realizing that the problems are really the solutions. Like you gain more by having difficult times in the long run than by having everything smooth. Because then when you have one small hiccup, your whole empire collapses. You're like, I've never missed a shot in my life. What am I supposed to do now? And then a player like Kobe tells you, take another one. Just take another shot.
And I feel like that comes with modern thinking a lot because everyone wants everything to be quick. Everyone wants everything to be easy.
Absolutely.
Did you ever own a business before starting your firm?
Yes.
And how did that go?
Awful.
Okay.
Like really awful. Really, really, really bad.
So when you took that and all of the things that you learned from that business,
I said, I'm going to do the opposite.
Yeah.
Because that didn't work. I put about 3 or 4 years into a real estate brokerage with about, 200, 250 realtors at a certain point at its max. 200? Yeah, like 200, 250 at its max.
Okay.
And I didn't make $1.
Wow.
It was successful in the eyes of the world. Like, it was, like, from the outside, it was a nice place. It was a lot of realtors, a lot of listings.
How old were you?
I was in law school.
Wow.
And it just looked like, wow, these guys are balling. And I did make it seem like I was balling too. I was like, wow, these guys are successful. But the truth is, the only money I ever made was from student loans. That's how I funded that business.
Wow.
But it was great because I learned how to run a business. Mm-hmm. I learned how to deal with people. I learned how to deal with disappointments while not making $1. So I was like, okay, if I do another business that I have to deal with all the bullshit and all the drama, but I can make $1, I'm winning. Mm-hmm. Because it's the same one that I had before, but now I'm actually making money. So if I did it for 3 years without making money and I was cool with it and I kept growing something that didn't make me money, imagine what I could do if I actually made money. So that was great. Some people might have been like, oh, wow, you're a failure. You kidding me? That business was amazing, but you didn't make money.
Yeah.
I get it, but I had loan money, and the loan money helped me keep playing with the business.
So you started that business and you were in law school. If you could go back to yourself when you were in law school, or any other law school student that's in law school right now, what advice would you give to yourself or that person that's in law school?
Do you really want me to say that?
Yes.
So a lot of people are not going to like what I'm going to say. But I'm going to say it either way. I'm not trying to demotivate you.
Oh, no.
I think I gave away an extra, graduated with a 2.9 law school.
Okay.
Had a 4.0 in undergrad and a 5.6 in high school.
Okay.
But I needed a 5.6 in high school to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed a 4.0 in college to go to law school. After law school, there's nothing. It's over. So even me with a 2.9, I could have graduated with a 2.1. So I regret the extra 8 points. Because all the extra studying, all the extra stuff that I did, for what? It probably would be better. It's actually cooler if I had like a 2.1 GPA. So I can put it in my license tag like 2.1 GPA. It will make a nicer story. Like, hey, I'm a badass. So what would I teach people in law school? Don't take it so serious. It's absolutely correct what they say in law school. I thought it was real, but now I know it's absolutely real. A's become teachers, B's become judges, or vice versa. It's irrelevant, and C's become millionaires. Absolutely. Every C student I know is rich. Every A or B student works for the C student. And that's facts. I don't know any A or B student that's like rich. Not in law school. I don't. Because I think when you're an A student, especially in law school, you have to be really smart. I told you, I had a 4.0 in undergrad and a 5.6 in high school. And man, my 2.9 in law school, I worked for it. It wasn't like, oh, I just didn't study. No. I worked for every single point of that 2.9. And that's why I say I would have been good with 2.1. Because I studied for this 2.9. My brain didn't have the capacity to get a 4.0. So let's be serious. It's not like I'm saying, hey, if I had the mental ability to get a 4.0 in law school, I would have done it. I tried. I ran the marathon, and I still didn't place. I auditioned for the Heat, and they still didn't sign me up, right? So it's not like, oh, I hate basketball players. No. I would have loved to be a center for the Miami Heat. I'm just short.
Yeah.
Right? I would have loved to have a 4.0 in college. In law school. I couldn't do it. I tried my hardest. I gave it my all. My brain didn't have the ability to it because my brain was a C brain. Period. A C brain, I think, is more risk adverse. They're like more F it, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Whereas the brain of an A student, they're smart. They are programmed to do things a certain way, and that certain way of doing things plus being smart doesn't give you the capacity to think big. Because you stay in your box. Because you're smart enough to know that there's 4 corners. And you're not going to get out of those 4 corners because you're intelligent. And intelligent people don't leave those 4 corners because you're smarter than that.
Yeah.
Dumbasses like me don't see a corner in the box. And we're like, this is infinite. I'm an idiot. But you need to be crazy, like I said at the beginning, to make it to the point that I am. Yeah. Right? Which it might not be crazy to other people, but for some people it might be crazy. But C's get degrees, and C's become millionaires because they are not being held back by their own intelligence because they lack intelligence. Yeah. A's and B's are up there. They're like, man, you're stupid. Why would you do that? Why would you open up your own law firm? Like, I have this law firm offering me $120,000 a year. I'm smart. I'm with Green Spoon Matter or Greenberg Torrig. I'm with blah, blah, blah. Like the French ass names that sound very fancy that I try so hard to be part of. I tried. If you could have told me, Rob, lose a finger and be part of, the fancy one? Greenberg Torrig. It's like, man, like those people, Greenberg Torrig. Those are that's like the NBA of attorneys. Yeah. I'll clean your floors for a year if you just allow me to be here. They wouldn't even look at me. Like, dude, you're a C student. Only geniuses come here. Yeah. And now I know why they want geniuses there. Because I would have taken over the firm. I'm a threat. So they want the genius that they're too involved in the case law and the law. Where I'm here, like, how much money you guys making here? $5 billion? How much you make, general partner? $1 million? But you're not even that smart. All right, let me go into the meeting. I'll do the talking. You can't have guys like me there.
Yeah.
Because the guys like me it's Greenberg and Torrig, right? Greenberg and Torrig have 12,000 lawyers working for them. Mm-hmm. They know I'm not one of those 12,000 because I'm not A or B. But it's not because of my grades. It's because I'm crazy. And when I see your formula and I see that having 12,000, it's not that crazy, and I can do the same thing you do, I'll become Greenberg, Florig, and I'll take your business. I had a guy at, what is it called? It wasn't CSK. It was something with a K. Something K. A big firm. Everybody wanted to be part of it. Cubica Draper, I think it was called. There was a guy called Brad. He was a partner. And he took a liking to me at an event. And he's like, oh, you should come pass by. And I'm like, hey, Brad, I would like to do like an interview. So he liked me because I had some exotic shoes and he had nice shoes. So we hit it off. Not as a legal way, but like, I like you, bro. You're cool. So I interviewed with him for a summer internship. And he told me straight up, man, we'll never hire you because you're not the type of people I invest in. Because you'll be here for a few months and then you figure this shit out and you do it yourself. So you're not the type of guy that I want here because you are me. And I don't want me's here. Right? And I was like, damn, Brad, thanks. And he's like, I don't think it was a compliment. But I'm like, to this day, I'm like, wow. You're absolutely right. Because when I hire people, I want people who are going to be in my firm forever. And I'm not trying to be selfish, but I want to invest time and money into attorneys who buy into my brand, my culture, my business, so I can grow my brand and they will grow with me, right? I want the attorneys to take pride in my office, in my culture, in my vision. But you can only have one vision in a law firm. And Morgan & Morgan is John Morgan and nobody else. Yeah. And he can be the biggest firm in the world and you're happy to work for John Morgan, but it's his vision and you're going in his direction. And I think those people don't want other visions. And it's not that I don't want other visions in my law firm, but I want people who I'm going to help grow the next 50 years to be with me. Yeah. And somebody like me, I'll invest into them time, money, effort, energy. And in 6 months, they're like, Rob, I'm doing this myself. Like, what you do is a joke. Yeah. And I'm like, man, but I really liked you. Like, you're so good. They're like, not working for you. I'm going to do my own shit. Right? So then when I interview people, there's attorneys that I'm like, okay, they're going to be with me for 5 years because they're very good. And in 5 years, they're going to do their own thing. And I'm okay with that. But the energy that I give to those attorneys is different than the attorney that I'm like, damn, he's going to be with me for 60 years. Mm-hmm. I'm going to invest more in you because you're going to be with me forever. Whereas there's attorneys that I interview and I'm like, they're so good, but I'm going to use them for like 2 months and I'm going to have 2 great months. And in 2 months, they're out because they're going to do their own thing. Yeah. I don't like those attorneys because although you're great, I don't want short-term great. I want long-term great. And that's why those big law firms, they invest into talent that they think they're going to have for a long time. And they're going to see the return on investment. Because I'll give you $200,000, but you're going to make me $20 million. So the law student's like, Greenberg offered me $150. Yeah, and you're going to build like $11 million for them. Yeah. And they have 12,000 of you, so they're going to make about $1 billion. And their payroll is only going to be $100 million, so they're about to clear $900 million. Those are the numbers that I like. So as a law student, you need to know what you're going to do. Like, what is your goal? My goal was to be rich. Simple. I've always been very clear. I liked the law because I didn't like the medicine. I was not good at science or math. And law was my only option. I wanted to. Now in this industry, I help people. But I didn't go to law school with the intention, and this is selfish, but you need to be honest with yourself. I always ask people in an interview, tell me the truth. Why do you do this? Oh, because I love... Okay, get out. Get out of here, please. Like, don't give me that bullshit. Like, you're not going to work with me and give me bullshit. I work with people who are honest.
Yeah.
I'm a C student. Remember, I'm not too smart. So if I'm not too smart, I'm not going to sugarcoat bullshit. I'm going to talk like a little savage. Yeah, but you're a lawyer. What does that mean? I'm smart enough to go to school and dumb enough to know what I shouldn't be doing. Right? So I went to school to make money. Period. Now, do I make money doing something that I love? Yes. But I didn't think I was going to be doing something that I loved. I knew I was going to be making money, regardless of whether I loved it or not. I happen to actually really like what I do. So it's a bonus. But if I didn't like what I do, I'll keep doing what I did, even if I hated it, because it makes me money. That's what I went to school for.
You mentioned you always wanted to be rich.
Yes.
And you also told me that when you were in law school, you used loans to fund that other business that you had. How did you fund your firm? How did you fund this business right when you got out of law school?
My firm, I'm a big believer in don't go above your means.
Okay.
When I started this firm, my overhead was $0. And if I made $1, I was profitable. When I made $1, I invested 50 cents. When I made $5, I invested $3.
Back into the business. Correct.
I never got ahead. So what most people don't understand is that it takes you nothing to open a business. I have people who I'm planning to save money to open a business one day. I'm like, you sound like you're that same person that says on a Tuesday, I'm going to start working out next Monday. Why don't you just go to the gym now? Because the week just started. It's Tuesday. Monday was yesterday. Pick up the steam. You only missed it by one day. No, but I meant I'm going to start working out next Monday. Dude, but it's Tuesday. You have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Why Monday? Oh, because people start the gym on Mondays. I'm like, where did you read that? You've never seen somebody say, hey, next Wednesday I start the gym. Right? Because it's Mondays. Mm-hmm. And on Mondays you do chest. And Tuesdays you do back. And Wednesdays you do legs. Why? That's just how it is. There's God. And there's like Mondays are the gym starting date. Okay? And if you don't start Monday and it's already September, screw it. Start January 1st. Why? Why January 1st? It's the first day of the year. That's when you start. But today is November. Why don't you start today? You have 3 months of head start. Nah, I'm going to do other stuff this 3 months, So you don't want the gym. Same thing with businesses. If you're going to open a business, do it.
What are some key lessons you've learned owning a business? A personal injury firm.
Key lessons. I mean, you have to be risk adverse. Like you have to be risk tolerant, if I can say it like that. Why? Because owning a business is risky. You can make a lot of money or you can lose a lot of money. But if you're willing to make a lot, you have to be willing to lose a lot. It's very easy to make $200,000 a year and collect a check every Friday.
Yeah.
If you like stability and you like to collect $200,000 a year, and every Friday, rain or shine, your boss has to give you a check. Whether you performed, whether you were good, whether you were bad, but you know that every Friday, you can go to sleep on Thursday, and on Friday, there will be money in that account. And that's what you really enjoy. That's great. But then you can't compare yourself to your boss who's making $50 million a year. Because he doesn't have any guarantee that on Friday, he's going to have enough money to pay his entire staff. So with risk comes reward. So that's what I've learned.
When you got out of law school and you saw your friends going to Greenberg Traurig and making $200,000 a year, no matter what, and you were opening up your own firm and the paycheck was not guaranteed, how did you feel?
I felt great because I knew eventually I'll be making a lot of millions and never in their life they'll be doing that. So if they made $200,000 a year for the next 10 years, in 5 years, I'll make in 1 year what they made in the next 20. And it's true. So, and then the problem with them is that now, after 5 years of making $200,000, you can't just quit that job to like take a risk. Because now you're about to lose $200,000. I didn't have any offers. So my risk was $0 to make $1. So I was already good. So they had a hard, it was hard for them, I think, Because if I had the option of being smart and an option of getting an offer of 200 grand, I would have taken it. Like, give it to me. I was lucky that nobody offered me anything. So I'm like that player in the draft that doesn't get picked. And then you call me up for summer camp and I ball out. And you're like, dude, how are you balling out? I'm like, dude, I have no pressure. Like, nobody wanted me. You still don't want me. So if I'm going to play, I'm going to play lights out because I have nothing to lose. Whereas the first round pick, it's coming out on ESPN all day. This guy's number one pick, the best thing ever to happen. Jesus Christ, LeBron James and this guy. So you're like, man, the whole world's watching. Like, they're watching me. So if I don't drop 30 points, I suck. If I drop 1 point, damn, he's better than I thought. Let's drop 2. Let's drop 5. Man, I'm at 50 points already, and the first round pick hasn't scored yet. He's scared. He's nervous because he has pressure. I had none. So I always tell people, like, if you're not in the top ranking of your class, that's a good thing. Assuming you couldn't make it. I'm not saying don't try. But if you happen to try and fall, I was like top, I don't even know. I can't even use the word top of anything because I was not top anything. If I was top 115 of 120, I'm not, you can't say I was top 115 of what? Of 116. So yes, if you want to look at the bright side, I was top 115 of 116. I was like at the end. And that was good.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be there, but I didn't have an option. I was already there. So I didn't have an option. Nobody offered me a job. So I could have taken a job eventually after a year for like 60, 70, 80, 100 grand. But I was probably making 50 on my own. So I was like, okay, I'd rather make 50 this year. And next year I'll make 100. And the other year I'll make 300. And then it'll escalate to $1 million. And then I'm looking at 5 million. And then I'm looking at 12. And then woof. Like you can't catch me anymore.
When did you realize the importance of having a personal brand and marketing?
I realized that, first of all, I started social media early on when a lot of people weren't doing social media. And I never really saw it as a brand. I actually just got a logo for my law firm last year in November. Because I didn't really care about brand. I was very authentic. So my brand was me. And me was just me. Like, raw. Like, this is me. Like, there's nothing else. If you see me in person, if you see me at a podcast, if you see me, this is me. Like, I don't have to put a show. I don't have to act. I don't have to, put a persona. Like, this is just me. I'm just raw. Like, as raw as it gets. And sometimes I come off as intelligent. Sometimes I come out as a dumbass. And I'm like, that's both of those are me. Like, it's just me at different times of the day. Damn, you're a genius. Yes, that's me. Damn, you're pretty stupid. Yeah, that's also me. But it all depends. It's 5 o'clock, so I might say something smart. And at 5:06, I might drop a bomb. Like, this guy went to school? Yes, they're both me. And I think people like that. People could relate to someone who's not trying to just like BS you. Most attorneys are arrogant. Most attorneys are assholes, right? They think they're cool because they're attorneys. The attorneys I've met before I was an attorney, they thought they were hot shit. They made it seem like law school was for like a special elite. Like if you're a Navy SEAL, like Team 6, right? Yeah. I'm not just Army. I'm a SEAL 6. Yeah, like we're a selected few in the world, right? And you're like, wow, like it's impossible to be like you guys. Yeah, there's 6 SEALs. They're really rare. There's millions of lawyers, bro. Relax. You're not special. Yeah. Right? And that's how I like present it to people who say, you're a lawyer. And I'm like, yeah. Like, is that something bad? They're like, no, you're a lawyer. I'm like, what about it? Like, I just went to school and for law. But you are whatever you are. Like, it doesn't matter. And I think people like that. When I tell people, why don't you go to law school? And they're like, me? I'm like, yeah, anybody can go. It's not a big deal. Seriously, it's not. It's one class, one test. Probably not going to fail if they have a good curve. Like, you just have to be disciplined and study, but it's not rocket science. I know a lot of people in law school that were B students, and I wouldn't want them as my attorneys because these people are just weirdos. Yeah. Like, straight up weirdos. And they're, like, doing law, and I'm like, oh, my God. Trust me, you want the C student being your attorney. That guy, man, I'll represent myself even if I don't know how to read it right.
So going back to your first year in business, how were you acquiring clients? And now how are clients finding you?
Networking, at first, since I had the real estate company, it really helped me out because all the real estate agents and everyone in the real estate industry, I was kind of like their competition because I was taking deals away, right? If you're a realtor and I'm a realtor, we're a threat to each other.
Yeah.
But whenever I say, hey, look, I'm going to real estate events, but I'm not looking for houses to sell. Like, if anyone wants a lawyer, I'm a lawyer. And guess what? I was the only lawyer in the room.
And always for personal injury?
I did everything, man.
Everything?
I did whatever paid my bills. I think I never took like copyright or IP or any of those classes. And my first case out of law school, lady walks into my office. HBO is suing her. Never even took that class. I had no idea what the class was about. So I asked the people in a group chat that I have from law school, I'm like, guys, what is this IP shit? You know, like, what is this? Like, copyright infringement? Like, they're like, Rob, you never even took that class, you dumbass. And I'm like, well, I'm suing HBO. No,
wow.
HBO sued my client.
Wow.
And they're like, how are you going to solve that? You have no idea how to deal with that. I'm like, dude, give me your phone. I'll deal it. Yo, HBO, let me tell you something. Yeah, it's raw, Robert. I'm not that smart, so listen to me. Don't give me no memos and don't give me any of that shit you're about to give me. This what's up. My client, straight out of Hialeah, she's broke like a kite. You're suing her for $1 million. This is what we're going to do. We'll do a payment plan of $100 for the next 10 years. Can we do that? Or you get a default judgment against her. I know about that. I took that class. You're never going to collect. And they're like, okay, let's do this. Flat fee of $5,000 and she's got a year to pay us back. It's like some crazy outrageous like lawsuit against her for playing a Mayweather fight at a commercial establishment, paying it through like a residential, like big stuff. Like this is like a big lawsuit. And I was like, whatever, it's a joke. So I told the client, look, I've never done this in my life, but if you give me a phone, I'll get you out of this. I'm not filing no motions. I'm not going to answer and then get you stuck with this lawsuit because I'm smart enough to know that if an attorney on the other side is suing and I bite the bullet and I get hooked like a fish and I answer this, we're litigating forever. So before I answer, I am smart enough as a C student to say, let's not answer nothing. Let's negotiate. Get it dismissed. Never happened. Boom, solved. I bet you none of those guys that took that class would have handled this like I did. But then again, they're too smart.
Yeah. I
wasn't smart enough to write the memo. I didn't want to draft an answer because I never drafted an answer. I didn't know how long I had to draft the answer. I skipped that in class. I remember. I forgot it was 20 days. So I said, how do I get away with winning this without doing what most attorneys do, which is they're just lawyers. I ate the people alive. Oh, I went to Harvard. Great. I went to FIU. Let's go. What's up? And I charged $500. Which I realized that if I had to file a suit on this for whatever reason, the filing cost was like $512. So I would have lost $12. Wow. So I said, there's no shot I'm losing money in this one. I'm solving this and I'm not filing anything.
Wow. So right now you're in Florida and in Texas.
Yeah.
Let's say another attorney has a firm and they want to expand.
Mm-hmm.
What advice do you have for them?
Expand.
Don't think about it. Just
expand.
Do it.
You know how I expanded in Texas?
How?
One day I said, I'm going to get the Texas bar. I told one of my secretaries, you'll figure out how to get the Texas bar. Rob, I need some paper. Ask my wife for the papers. Boom, boom, boom. Rob, you got to take like a class online, like a few questions. All right, boom, boom. I took a class. 3 months later, hey, Rob, you're approved in Texas. Cool. I'm a Texas lawyer. Babe, tomorrow I'm going to Texas. I'm going to open a firm.
Just like that.
Just like that. I went the next day to Texas, called the realtor. Hey, show me a property. Show me 3 properties. That one looks good. Let's get a lease. Guess what, babe? We have an office in Texas already. I'm going to go back home. I'm going to come back next weekend. And by Monday, I'm going to have a full-time employee and it's going to be completely furnished. I went back to Texas. I had my office key on a Friday. I went to IKEA. I went to Ross. I went to a whole bunch of places. Decorated the entire office by Monday. My first paralegal started that Monday. Wow. She had no clue that 3 hours before there was no office, there was no internet, there was no computer, there was no nothing.
She didn't know.
She didn't know. I actually got some coffee. I stained the walls. And I'm like, yeah, it's a mess, this office. I made something look pretty. That was pretty, made it look ugly and old to make it look vintage. I've been in Texas for about, my son is 7 months. So I started just right before he was born. So 7 months. And my numbers in Texas are looking very much to my numbers in Florida. And I thought I was successful in Florida.
It seems like you're targeting Hispanic clients. When did that decision come about and why? I mean, other than the fact that Florida and Texas are filled with Hispanics, when did you make that decision and what made that decision
At
come
18
about?
or 19, I don't remember, I got my real estate license. And something I learned about getting my real estate license at 18 or 19, let's just say 19, was that you need to stay true to who you are. Okay. And at 18, I started working real estate in a company in the beach. I'm from Hialeah. I used to drive to Miami Beach to a real estate firm simply because I wanted to be fancy. I wanted to say my real estate brokerage is in Miami Beach. I am elegant and fancy. I didn't know anything about Miami Beach. It would take me 2-3 hours to find parking. It was not my hood. I didn't know how to get there. I got lost. I didn't know any properties. I had zero input to my clients in real estate because they were from Miami Beach. I didn't belong there. So then I relocated to another office in Hialeah. And guess what? I was a king. Because you couldn't BS me. I knew the good buildings, the bad buildings. And yes, my community is not as fancy as where I wanted to be from. I wanted to belong somewhere that I was not part of. So I was not an asset to anybody in Miami Beach. But in Hialeah, I knew everything. I knew the streets, the traffic, the good areas, the bad areas. I knew the schools. I knew the everything. So I became an asset. And I learned very early on, stick to what you know, right? I'm Hispanic. I come from a different country. My first language is Spanish. I've grown up around Spanish people my entire life. Why is everyone targeting people in English? I can easily speak Spanish, more fluent than English. And those people are not getting targeted by anybody. Okay, look, all my content is in Spanish. Cool. So I didn't make it a market. I just said, let me talk to my people. It's just easier, you know. If I'm not Robert Smith, I'm not Robert Jones, I'm goddamn Roberto Dominguez. What am I doing here doing English commercials? Like, dude, I'm Cuban. Like my clients wanted, hey, my attorney speaks Spanish because he's Cuban and he speaks Spanish all the time. Not, I'm Roberto. Right? It's funny when the American says, hello, I soy Charlie. Right? He's trying. I respect that. But he's American.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent when you see, I'm Robert Rubenstein, yo, Carol, short to abogado. Dude, he don't speak Spanish. Right? That's not your culture. He's trying to get those clients, but he's also getting his American clients. I'm the equivalent of him if I'm saying, I'm Robert Dominguez, call me. I sound as funny as he sounds.
Yeah.
Because those are not my people, right? I mean, we're all Americans, but my culture is Hispanic. And there's less Hispanic attorneys than Americans. Mm-hmm. So why would I make my competition harder and compete versus Robert Rubenstein and John Smith and John Morgan? And John Morgan can't do what I do. I cannot do what John Morgan does either. But he knows his market, I know my market. You can't have John Morgan talking to the Cubans in Hialeah. Yeah, the car accident, call me, I got you. It's not in him.
Wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work. But he stays authentic. I stay authentic, right? As much as I want to be fancy and be the Beverly Hills attorney. I'm not. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
So just stay to who you are and you'll do good because you are valuable in your community.
You've certainly accomplished a level of success, and maybe that level of success, you don't have to do what you do every day. You don't have to come to the office every day and stay here working for hours, work as hard as you do. A lot of people they become full. They don't get hungry when they reach a certain level of success. What gets you up in the morning?
I'm a superstar. What does LeBron do? And this is in the most humble way. How do you separate when you're in the NBA, for instance? And I'm trying to say this in the most humble way that doesn't come out as arrogant. It's confidence, right? But it's also the truth. Sound like Kanye right now. It's just the truth. I'm a creative genius. No. What makes LeBron James and Michael Jordan different than every other player in the NBA? Those guys are the most talented players in the world, right? Everybody in the NBA is a professional basketball player. They're the best of the best of the best. Those guys are the best in their college, in their high school. They've always been the best. But when you get now to the NBA, it's a new hierarchy. And everybody's making hundreds of millions of dollars. So money is not the factor.
Yeah.
So when you take money away, Why is LeBron better than these other guys? He loves the game more.
So that's why you get up in the morning. You love the game.
Simple as that. LeBron's making more money than all the other guys, but he's outworking all the other guys.
Okay.
So it's not about the money. To many people, when they got to the NBA, it was only for money, right? So once they hit the $100 million contract, they're like, God, I hate this shit. I got to dribble the ball. This is getting boring. I'd rather be at the hotel right now. I want to be in my mansion in California because I'm rich. Yeah, buddy, but you got rich because of the NBA.
Yeah.
So you can't just not do NBA now because that's what pays for your lifestyle. And those are the players you see in the bench, right? Because they're less talented or maybe they're less disciplined. Maybe you see some players starting, but they're not as talented, but they're more disciplined. They love the game very much, but maybe they're not like LeBron that has all the combination of talent and love for the game. So maybe if I don't want to be arrogant, I'll say I'm like Udonis Haslem. Like if I want to be super cocky, I'll say I'm LeBron. But if I want to be realistic, I'm like Udonis Haslem. He was in the league for 20 years, right? He was a hustler in the league. He was probably not the best at anything. His defense was not the best. His shooting was not the best. But his passion was 1 in a million. He will outwork anybody in the court. And that's why he kept him around for so long, because of his heart, right? It didn't matter how much money he was making or not. He looked different out there because he had something. He loved what he was doing. And LeBron on the other side is the most talented, has the most money, but he's still playing. And it doesn't matter if you pay him this or that. He's still going to do what he does. The money was important. Reaching the milestone of making the money, I was like, okay, got it. But what's the motivating factor to keep doing this if I already got what I wanted? Like, check, got the money. Boom, I got it. It's good. I secure the bag. Why would I keep doing this if I already have it? I like it. I really like it. Some people get the money and then they get lazy. Oh, I have 5 attorneys. I got 6 attorneys. I don't have to be there. I want to be there. I want to be there before my attorneys. I want to be there before anybody because it's fun for me. I enjoy the process. The money, I already made it. And it's going to keep coming. And if it stops one day, who cares? I'll keep doing this even if they didn't pay me because I enjoy this. And I think that makes the difference of keep doing it or not. Like Tom Brady, right? He could have retired 15 years into his career.
Yeah.
It wasn't about the money anymore. I just want to keep being the best.
So what gets you up in the morning at 4 a.m, because I've seen your Instagram stories, is just love for the game.
3 a.m.
3 in the morning?
4 is when I'm late.
Wow.
What gets me up, honestly, at 3 a.m. is that I want to be home by 5.
By 5 p.m.
For my kids.
You're late.
If I didn't have kids, special exception to that. If I didn't have kids or a wife, I'll probably work all day, which I've done when I started the firm. I'll sleep in the office for a few days. But now that I have kids, the kids have taken the priority, and I need to be home at least at 5, right? But for me to be home at 5, I got to wake up at 3, right? Because I'm not going to sacrifice my level of work or my quality of work. So if I can't sacrifice my level, if I don't want to sacrifice that, nor do I want to sacrifice time with my kids, then I have to start my day at 3 a.m.
How do you effectively manage that?
I tune my body. It's just wake up at 3. I go to the office. I'm in the office by 4. I work for about an hour because the gym opens at 5. So the gym doesn't open early enough for me to be there. So then I'll probably leave the office about 4:50, and I'm in the gym waiting 10 minutes before it opens. Opens at 5. I work out till 6. Go back to the office. Work for a few hours. By 9 o'clock, my employees get there, and I'm like beating them up because I've been up since 3, and they just got here. So the day starts at 9, assuming they're not late. And I've been grinding for a few hours. So I already did a shift by the time you start yours. And then by the time you finish your shift at 5, I've done 3.
Wow. Every
single day. So like you've worked 40 hours, you've done 80. It's fun. And it motivates them to be like, damn, Rob gets so much done. I want to do more. I'm like, wake up early.
What do you think are the most important habits to become successful?
Discipline. It's the only one. Discipline. Don't get complicated. I can give you 100 of them. I'm going to confuse you. Discipline.
How do you become disciplined?
Show up when you don't want to. Like your body doesn't. Your brain is the general. Your body is a soldier. Your body doesn't want to do it. Who the hell's the soldier? I'm the general. Like, we're going to go to the gym today. But I don't give a shit what you want to do. We're going. And I'm going to get in the car, and I'm going to open the door of the gym, and I'm going to look at the weights, and I'm going to be like, hey, you're here already, bro. Like, you turn around, you're a freaking loser. Like, you made it all the way here to, like, turn around, though? All right, let's just get a little pump. You know what? Let's add more weight. Yeah, you know what? I'm already sweating. Let's just continue. But I showed up. And that's what I do for a living. I show up. I don't want to be somewhere. I show up. And then I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm here already. Let's make the best out of it. But discipline allows me to show up.
Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
Retired.
Truthfully?
Truthfully.
Why have you loved the game so much?
Because I want to be with my family. I love the game, and the intensity that I put to the game, I'll be burned out in 10 years. I'm going hard. I'm like Dwayne Wade. I just go in the paint and I just get hit and hit and hit and hit and hit. I'm like a running back. You're not going to last 10 years running and getting hit. But I'm going to run. I'm going to run. And every time I have the ball, I know I'm going to get hit hard.
How old are you right now?
33.
So at 43, you want to...
Oh, no. Before
less?
40, all
40.
my firms are running. I'm being... I don't know where I'm going to be. But my body will not take the amount of stuff that I do older than 40. I wouldn't want to see it. Because I will not be at my firm if I'm not giving it 1,000% like I am right now. Like, I'm not a offhand, I have a law firm and I have 50 lawyers and I'm just here and I'm collecting checks. That's not me. If I'm not hands-on and everything goes through me and I'm like not part of the orchestra, if I'm not leading the orchestra, I don't even want to be in the audience.
So what do you potentially want to sell your business?
I'm not thinking like, that's not even a thought. Like right now I'm just leading my orchestra.
Right.
And when the music stops playing because my hands hurt, I'll probably start playing with cats or something.
So what are your goals for the business? What do you want your business, your firms to be in 10 years?
Every year I just grow the amount of settlements, the amount of clients. I improve my customer service. I improve the way I lead my people. It's just like a Michelin star restaurant. Like you just try to get another star and you try to perfect perfection and you try to perfect perfection because you're never perfect, but you're good. But every year you just get better and better and better until I say I'm done. And if I didn't represent you in the next 10 years, you missed out because you're getting like full throttle LeBron in the Cavaliers. Don't hire me when I'm full throttle LeBron in the Lakers with 42 years old and a white beard. It's not the same.
Do you want to be in other states or just Florida and Texas?
It all depends. I like to perfect things. And Florida is Michelin star ready. Texas is almost Michelin star ready. But until I get those stars guaranteed, I'm not going anywhere else. I don't like to just start things. I start things, I perfect things, I figure things out. And once my formula is perfect, then I'll try the recipe somewhere else. So I think starting another state right now, except maybe Georgia, is very similar. Like volume just messes up quality. So like I like quantity as long as my quality is better. So if you just keep opening places everywhere, like you're gonna like mess up your quality.
Yeah.
So I think for now I'm good until I know that my system is perfect, which is almost impossible. And when it's near perfect, then I'll think about somewhere else. But yeah, I mean, I would love to be everywhere, but it's just so hard to keep the quality control when you're everywhere.
How do you define success?
Success is defined as waking up, not being upset about having to do what you're about to do. And if what you're doing today is not what you'll be doing if you were about to die tomorrow, you're not successful. Doesn't matter what you do for a living. If today was my last day and this interview is the last thing I did, with the exception of going to see my kids for at least 30 minutes, and I die after, I'm cool with it. Because I did everything today that I wanted to do. Like, I didn't do anything today I didn't want to do. With the exception that I want to see my wife and kids now. But right after that, I dropped dead. I did it. So I guess that's success.
That's an honor because I'm involved in
yes, sir, in my death. You're involved in my death.
So, Robert, that was my last question. So thank you very much.
Now I'm ready to die. With that, I leave you to your luck go see your kids and fuck it. Like if you're awake tomorrow, you'll see this interview. And if not, then I guess you die successful.
So thank you very much for being on the show.
No problem,
now that you're expanding in Texas, I wanted to give you a gift. By the way, I'm not sponsored by this book. I don't work for this person.
Oh, love it.
I don't know. Have you read it before?
No, traction.
Hopefully you read.
If
You have the time.
I always have the time. Come on,
Okay.
it's 3 a.m. Okay.
Okay.
I have an hour of meditating.
Okay, so I think I really think you're gonna enjoy that book.
If you're in law school, anybody that's in law school wants to go to law school, again, you might love what I said. If you're a C student, there's hope for you.
A lot of law school students are gonna be amazed.
If you're an A student, stop being dramatic. You're smart. Like you'll be fine, right? If you're a B student, you might be a judge, right? You're smart too. Like we're the little guys who barely made it, so don't be upset at us. Like we're not that bright, so just we're not smart enough to go to Greenberg Torrig. We're not smart enough to go to a big firm. So like give us some slack, You're blessed to be smart. You're blessed to be at Greenberg. We all wish we were there, right? We all wish we played for the Heat, but I didn't make it. So like if you're a Heat player, don't take it personal, right? Like it's an honor I'm mentioning you guys. But if I end up owning the Heat, don't get upset. Because while you were busy playing, I was busy building the empire to buy the team, right? So you see that. Wherever you want to be in life, you be. And if you become a super successful, rich business owner that is a straight A student from Harvard, man, shit. Like you're LeBron. That's rare.
Robert, it was an honor having you on. Thank you.
Appreciate it. An honor having you here too. And thank you for giving me this setup that I love.